Hello and welcome to CSAP IS Academy. I am Nitin Sharma, welcoming you to today's edition of the Current Affairs News and Analysis program. Today is 9th of November. So let's look at today's news events, important. Before I go ahead, would like to request you about joining the WhatsApp group and the Telegram group. So also our interview guidance program, which is underway, and you can join. It is free of cost program that you can join and get the feedback of how to approach an interview, the APSC interview. So azir amar news keta hol Supreme Court verdict on AMU minority status. So junto eta verdict ahisile kali about Supreme Court verdict eta ase AMU Aligarh Muslim University minority status or upor GS polity eta ba governance or eta part hobo pare. Indian financial condition in the comfort zone by CRISIL report, economic eta news hobo pare. Typhoon Insing in the Philippines, GS1 geography at a part of disaster management. NSC and IM threatens armed struggle, internal security at a part. So Isak Muivai, Twenglang Muivai Kibata threatening this. So India deserves to be in the list of global superpowers, Putin said, Vladimir Putin. So President of Russia kibata heri korise prefects kisman loi asu. So Supreme Court verdict on AMU minority status. So bahut again long standing eta legal battle has come to the limelight. The Supreme Court of India overruled a 1967 verdict that denied Aligarh Muslim University minority status. So Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh ase in Uttar Pradesh. So minority status to 1967 eta verdict ahisile, minority status to gusai disile aru hetu Supreme Court, or the matter is now to be decided by a new bench. So etia overrule korise hey 1967 verdict to plus tar bahire eta notun benchok refer kori dise. Etu constitutional bench asile, 7 judge bench asile, 4:3 verdict eta ahise aru tothapitu mane নতুন বেঞ্চ এটা এটু ৰেফাৰ কৰিছে 67 Aziz Basha case আহিছিলে Aziz Basha case of the Supreme Court held that AMU was neither established nor administered by a Muslim minority. So AMU neither established nor administered by a Muslim minority. It was created through a central legislative act. So government or central legislative actor through the AMU khon established হৈছিলে and therefore does not qualify as a minority institution under Article 30 of the Constitution. Yate juntu very famous college ase janeke Delhi University janeke Saint Stephen's College. So Saint Stephen's College Society of Gospels asile, Society of Gospel as juntu established korisile tate direct government of India direct eneke funding nasile prothomor pora. So he karone hetu olopan beleke thwa goisile Saint Stephen's College kon eneke minority status paisile. But AMU directly juntu formation hoisile tete government of India formation korisile under this act, Central Legislative Act. So he karone Article 30 under juntu that minorities have a right to set up their minority institutions hetu under nahe boli Supreme Court koisile in the Aziz Basha case. 1981 ako amendment eta hol, the government amended the AMU Act to declare that the Muslim community established the university for their cultural and educational advancement. So 1981 government, central government amendment eta anile saying that Aligarh Muslim University Muslim community established korisile for their cultural aru educational advancement or karone. Tasako Allahabad High Court or eta 2006 or ruling eta ahil. The court struck down both the 1981 amendment and a policy providing 50% reservation for Muslim students. So etia issue to juntu discussion ase hetu hol ki jetia minority status eta institution ekhon dia jay tetia hey minority community 50% reservation hey institute khonot pua jay, but baki junblak reservation, that is SC ST OBC a reservation kini tar pora nuhua hoy jay. So he karone there are certain people who are against it and there are certain people who are for this status. So Allahabad High Court has 2006 ruling dise hetut koisile je 1981 or amendment jodu government jodu anisile সেইটোক ৰিজেক্ট কৰিলে আৰু ৰিজেক্ট কৰি পেলাই ক'লে যে সেনেকৈ এটা মানে যোনটো মাইনৰিটি ষ্টেটাছ যোনটো সেইটো হেৰি কৰা নাযাব, সেইটো ইমপ্লিমেণ্ট কৰা নাযাব. The court struck down both the 1981 amendment and the policy providing 50% reservation for Muslim students, asserting that AMU was not a minority institution based on the 1967 verdict. So, hey, gute, 50% amendment or through the 1981 amendment or through the 50% reservation for Muslim community in the AMU, ana goisile, hetuku reject korile, stating that it is not a minority institution and based on the 1967 verdict, Basha verdict. Then tabse to refer kora gol in the Supreme Court again in 2019. The matter was referred to 7-judge bench. Ako 2019 at a constitutional bench set up kora gol, 7-judge bench. Heture verdict ite ahise jontu 4:3 mane majority verdict eta ahise. Holistic and realistic test. The Supreme Court in a 4-3 majority introduced a holistic and realistic approach to assess the minority character of an institution. So holistic aru realistic word kata use korise Supreme Court approach eta lobo karone koise to assess, to determine the minority status of an institution. Majority description, Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and other justices laid down core principles for determining minority character under Article 31. So under Article 30 subclause 1 যোনটো এটা যোনটো ক্ৰাইটেৰিয়া হয় মাইনৰিটি ষ্টেটাছ সেইটো মানে ডিচাইড কৰিবৰ কাৰণে এটা যোনটো হলিষ্টিক আৰু ৰিয়েলিষ্টিক এপ্ৰ'চ এটা ল'ব গৈছে ফ্ৰম দ্য গভৰ্ণমেণ্টছ পইণ্ট অফ ভিউ. Core essentials, purpose of establishment কি হয়, the primary aim should be conservation of the community's language and culture, but it does not need to be the sole purpose. So obviously primary purpose কি হ'ব লাগে minority status এটা দিব কাৰণে এখন ইনষ্টিটিউচনত communities language আৰু culture যাতে হেতু মানে প্ৰিজাৰ্ভ কৰিব পৰা যায়, but that does not need to be the sole purpose, but হেতু অকল একমাত্ৰ পাৰপাস হ'ব নহবও পাৰে. Non-minority admission, accepting students from non-minority groups does not affect an institution's minority character. So non-minority students যদি তাতে admission দিয়া যায় তেতিয়া হলে সেই minority status to হেতুৰ মানে হেতু একো এফেক্ট নপৰে. Secular education, imparting secular education does not nullify the minority status. So secular education dile minority status to nullify hoi na jay, hetu nuhua hoi na jay. Tarpor religious instructions, tamane if government aid is received, institutions cannot enforce religious participation, and fully state funded institutions cannot provide religious instruction. Tamane obviously constitution hetu ase je jodi government e jodi sponsorship korise, government sponsored jodi education institution hoy tetia hole tate completely religious instruction tate dibo para najabo. That will be like counter to the secularism. So implications of the ruling, yare result, yare implication ki hoba pare, autonomy and control, minority institutions can exercise control over admissions, staffing and administration to a certain extent. Minority institution e control koribo paro ki hoba upor admission, staffing aru administration to a certain extent, not to the complete extent. Precedent for minority institutions, so sets a nuanced framework for determining minority status, balancing cultural objectives with inclusivity and secularism. So the balanced view of the Supreme Court dise je precedent for minority institutions mane eta precedent eta set korise, eta benchmark eta set korise, that nuanced framework, the word that has been used, holistic and realistic approach eta lobo karone urge korise by the Supreme Court. So for determining minority status, balancing cultural objectives with inclusivity and secularism. Cultural objectives with inclusivity and secularism, egetak jate ami disturb jate nokoru, ei fabric to jate ami disturb nokoru. Establishment and administration test, so establishment test examines the institution's origin, purpose and the idea behind its establishment. Admission test, although institutions are not mandated to appoint only minority administrators, the administration should protect and promote minority interests. So obviously full scale minority hey noholeo admission ba administration full scale minority employees noholeo to a large extent যাতে কালচাৰেল হেৰিটো যাতে বজাই ৰাখিব পৰা যায় মাইনৰিটি ইণ্টাৰেষ্টটো যাতে বজাই ৰাখিব পৰা যায় কি ডেটছ কেইটামান যাতে 1877 এষ্টাব্লিছমেণ্ট অফ মোহাম্মদান এংলো অৰিয়েণ্টেল কলেজ বাই ছাৰ সৈয়দ আহমদ খান মোহাম্মদান এংলো অৰিয়েণ্টেল কলেজ এষ্টাব্লিছ কৰিছিলে 1877 1920 মাও কলেজ বিকামছ আলিগড় মুছলিম ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি আণ্ডাৰ AMU এক্ট চ' আগতে মাও কলেজ আছিলে তাৰপিছত সেইটো AMU আলিগড় মুছলিম ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি আণ্ডাৰ AMU এক্ট পাছ হৈছিলে 1950 Parliament declares AMU as an institution of national importance. 1950 Parliament AMU was declared as a national importance হিচাপে declare কৰিলে 67 Supreme Court verdict আহিছে হে আজিজ বাদশা কেছত য'ত minority status to deny কৰা গৈছিলে to AMU আকৌ 1981 amendment আহিলে by the government to declare AMU as a minority institution আৰু তাতে আকৌ যেতিয়া minority institution declare কৰিব তেতিয়া 50% reservation of the minorities তাতে আহি যাব 2005-6 আকৌ Allahabad High Court invalidates AMU's minority status and the 1981 amendment. Which article of the Indian Constitution grants minority the right to establish and administer educational institutions? So Article 29, 31, Article 32, Article 15. So we have just discussed. You can take the correct answer and put it in the comment box. India's financial condition in the comfort zone, CRISIL report. So CRISIL is a rating agency. তেওঁলোকৰ মতেদি ইণ্ডিয়া কমফৰ্ট জোনত আছে so CRISIL report on financial condition CRISIL released its financial conditions index report indicating that India's financial conditions remain in the comfort zone despite recent fluctuations in the foreign portfolio investors inflow and outflow অলপমান খেলিমেলি মাজতে হৈছিলে যোনটো আমি দেখা পাইছিলো stock exchange that up and down হৈছিল অলপমান portfolio investors black যোনবিলাক এটা স্পেসিফিক লিমিটেড টাইমৰ কাৰণে বা লিমিটেড পাৰপাছৰ কাৰণে যোনবিলাক ইনভেষ্টমেণ্ট কৰে ফৰেন ডাইৰেক্ট ইনভেষ্টমেণ্ট ফৰ এ পৰ্টফলিঅ'ত এটা টিপিকেল পাৰপাছৰ কাৰণে যোনটো কৰা যায় টিপিকেল ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰীত তেওঁলোকে নিজৰ পইচাটো ওলাই ল'ব গৈ আছিলে চ' ওলাই লৈছিলে চ' সেইকাৰণে ভালেখিনি অলপমান ফ্লাকচুৱেশ্যন আহিছিলে বাট ষ্টিল CRISIL said that India's condition is still in the comfort zone. So key factors influencing FCI stability is the policy and lending conditions. So policy and lending condition kenuka hoy hetu report 0.1 in October and 1.2 in September, providing easier condition than the long term average. Interest rates, domestic interest rates was limited, interest rate limited hoyasile. Other domestic monetary conditions provide support. Crude prices, stability in crude prices further bolstered India's financial conditions. So crude price jodio juddha choli ase but international crude price bahut beshi fluctuate hua nai hetu eta rupee depreciation the rupee depreciated at a moderate pace aiding the adjustment to global financial pressures so rupee alapan depreciate hoi joa karone hetu alapan adjust korise juntu global financial pressure to alapan adjust hoi goise hetu karone fine. So Chinese market FPI outflows were partially attributed to rising opportunities in Chinese equities influenced by China's aggressive fiscal stimulus measures. So China to alapan khelimili eta hoisile China domestic demand hetu komi goisile so export junbak heto production alapan down hoi goisile to hetu karone alapan Indo China junu trade balance of trade hetu alapan khelimili hoisile so all these things did happen in the last quarter. So the stable FCI and domestic support measures suggest resilience in India's financial sector despite global uncertainties and volatility in the FPI inflows. So stable FCI and domestic support to India obviously a benchmark in terms of Indian economy suggests resilience in India's financial sector. So domestic economy to a mainstay which keeps the entire financial sector in India balanced. According to the CRISIL report, what helped maintain India's financial stability despite FPI outflows? High interest rates, rising crude oil prices, stable crude prices and increased exports. So you can take the correct answer and put it in a comment box. Typhoon Yingxing in the Philippines. So Typhoon Yingxing aise Philippines causing severe flooding, landslide and infrastructure damage. So এইটো টাইমত আমি জানো যে ঠাণ্ডাৰ দিনত মাটিবিলাক বিৰাট ঠাণ্ডা হৈ যায় বাট পানীখিনি গৰম হৈ থাকে সো মোষ্টলি এইটো টাইমত ইণ্ডিয়ান ওশান বে অফ বেংগল এৰেবিয়ান সি আৰু ইফালে সাউথ চাইনা সি ইষ্ট চাইনা সি এই পানীখিনি অলপ গৰম হৈ থাকে সো সেইকাৰণে ইয়াতে এইখিনি এৰিয়াত সাইক্লোন ডেভেলপ হোৱাৰ স্কোপটো বেছি থাকে আমাৰ অলপ আগতে যেনেকৈ দানা চাইক্লন আহি গৈছিলে উৰিষ্যা কোষ্টত, চ' ৱেষ্ট বেংগল উৰিষ্যা গট এফেক্টেড, বে অফ বেংগলত আহিছিলে, আৰু সেনেকৈ এতিয়া টাইফুন ইংজিং আহিছে, এফেক্টিং Taiwan, affecting Philippines to a large extent. Also, it is reaching that part towards China, towards Taiwan. 13th major storm in 2024. So, Yingxing is the 13th major storm to affect Southeast Asia this year, marking a challenging season for the region. So, hetu eta ami already meteorologists bilake, climatologists bilake study kori ase je jonto frequency cyclone hetu bahi goise, আৰু হেতু বাহাৰ কাৰণে গ্লোবাল ওয়াৰ্মিংকো আমি ব্লেম কৰোঁ, ওভাৰঅল যোনটো টেম্পাৰেচাৰ ৰাইজ হৈছে হেতু কাৰণে আমি ব্লেম কৰোঁ যে নাম্বাৰ অফ সাইক্লোন বা ফ্ৰিকুৱেন্সি অফ সাইক্লোন লাহে লাহে বাঢ়ি বাঢ়ি গৈ আছে। ইংজিং was last tracked around 100 km west of the Locos Norte province in the South China Sea, and it is expected to weaken further as it moves towards Vietnam. So তাৰ পৰা ফিলিপিনছৰ পৰা লাহে লাহে ইণ্ডোনেছিয়া হৈ পেলাই এইফালে ভিয়েটনামৰ ফালে ঘূৰাৰ স্কোপ এটা আছে। লাহে লাহে যেতিয়া লেণ্ড ফল হ'ব তাৰপিছত অলপমান ইণ্টেনচিটিটো কমি যাব। So what was the local name of Typhoon Yingxing in the Philippines? Trami, Marque, Congre. So আমি অলপ আগতে ইয়াতে আমি দিছিলোঁ যে this was so local name in the Philippines, it was named as the Marce. So it's a strong cyclone with 150 km per hour with gusts reaching 205 km per hour. VAJRA batch already I launched course 2,100 rupees. So it's a recorded batch that you can join for both prelims and mains and interview up to interview purpose. NSCN IM threatens armed struggle. NSCN Nationalist Council, Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland বুলি যোনটো কোৱা যায়। So insurgent group হয়, one of the oldest insurgent group of northeast. IM বুলি কোৱা যায়, that is ইছাক চিচিচু আৰু ট্ৰেংলাং মুইভা। So ইছাক মুইভা বুলি কোৱা যায়। আৰু এটা গ্ৰুপ যোনটো স্প্লিণ্টাৰ গ্ৰুপ আছে, that is NSCN Khaplam, NSCN K. So NSCN IMৰ লগত অলৰেডি গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট অফ ইণ্ডিয়াৰ আৰু NSCN IMৰ অলৰেডি ট্ৰুচ অলৰেডি বুজাবুজি মানে চলি আছে। চ' কোনো ফায়াৰিং হোৱা নাই NSCN IMৰ পৰা। বাট এতিয়া NSCN IMে কৈছে, মানে মুইভাই কৈছে that Isak Sisisu is no more, he is dead. The Indian government does not meet their demands for a separate Naga flag and constitution. So separate Naga flag আৰু সেপাৰেট নাগাৰ কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন ইণ্ডিয়ান গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে মানি লোৱা নাই, আৰু মানি নোলোৱাৰ কাৰণে তেওঁলোকে কৈছে আমি আকৌ আৰ্ম যোনটো আৰম্ভ কৰি দিব পাৰোঁ। তো সেইটো এটা থ্ৰেটেনিং দিছে NSCN IMে। NSCN IMে has a history of insurgency in Nagaland since 1947. The group signed a framework agreement with the Indian government in 2015. তো 2015ত এটা framework agreement এটা সাইন কৰিছিলে। Their key demands include a separate Naga national flag and a Naga sovereign constitution. Naga national flag and Naga constitution belekke talke bisari ase. Government of India কৈছে এটো আমি দিব নোৱাৰো, under the constitution of India, not permissible. So সেই কাৰণে তেওঁলোকে কৈছে আমি আকৌ আমি কৰিম, আমি armed rebellion to আকৌ আৰম্ভ কৰি দিম। So NSCN IM accused the government of not honoring the framework agreement. NSCN IM considers the issues of Naga flag and constitution non-negotiable. তেওঁলোকে কৈছে নন নেগোচিয়েবল, সেইটো কোনো মানে কম্প্ৰমাইজ কৰিব নোৱাৰো, আমাক নাগা ফ্লেগ বেলেগকে লাগিব, নাগা কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন বেলেগকে লাগিব। ইণ্ডিয়ান গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট হেজ ৰেজিষ্টাৰ্ড দ্য ডিমাণ্ড ফৰ এ ছেপাৰেট ফ্লেগ এণ্ড কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন। বাট ইণ্ডিয়ান গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে জানে যে আণ্ডাৰ ইণ্ডিয়ান কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন সেনেকৈ বেলেগ ষ্টেট এখনত বেলেগ ফ্লেগ বা বেলেগ কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন সেনেকৈ দিব পৰা নাযায়। অফিচিয়েলছ এক্সপ্ৰেছ ৰেডিনেছ টু এনশ্যোৰ পিচ এণ্ড কণ্টিনিউ নেগোচিয়েশ্যনছ। So what is the primary demand for the Naga NSCN IM group? That remains non-negotiable for them. So more financial aid, a separate state, Naga flag and constitution, and withdrawal of Indian forces. India deserves to be in the list of global superpower, as said by President Putin. So President Putin said that Vladimir Putin endorsed India as a deserving candidate for global superpower status at the Valdai Discussion Club in Sochi. So Sochi Valdai ক্লাব ডিছকাশ্যন এটা চলি আছে আৰু সেইটোত প্ৰেচিডেণ্ট পুটিনে কৈছে যে ইণ্ডিয়া ডিজাৰ্ভছ টু বি a candidate in the global superpower status. So indirectly, indirectly Russia favors India's candidature for the United Nations Security Council. Russia said that it's going to favor India's growth and potential. India's economy is one of the fastest growing in the world. The country's significant population make it a strong global contender. So India's economy fastest growing economy হয় সবে জানে India's population এটা ডাঙৰ strong global population এটা strong population group এটা আছে তাতে youthful group আছে plus knowledge based group এটাও ডাঙৰ আছে ইণ্ডিয়াত so সেইকাৰণে পুটিন highlighted India's large population and economic leadership as core strength large population ডাঙৰ population আৰু economic leadership as core strength India Russia relations so we are like যোনটো আমাৰ strategic partnership আছে ইণ্ডিয়াৰ লগত BrahMos missile already joint venture কৰি পেলাই বনোৱা গৈছে ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ এণ্ড মস্কোৱা নদীৰ নামত BrahMos missile হেৰি কৰিছে ইয়াতে আমি এখন চাৰ্ট দিয়া গৈছে Akula class submarine AK-203 rifles AK-203 rifles আমি already কিনিব গৈ আছো it's an advanced version of the AK-47 and AK-56 rifles so Kamov K-226 light utility helicopters আছে and আকৌ ইফালে Sukhoi 30 MK Sukhoi 30 এতিয়া যোনটো Sukhoi 30 advanced version of যোনটো avionics সেটো আমি হেৰি কৰিব কিনিব গৈ আছো Kriva class frigates which are for the navy which has already been ordered Kamov helicopters mothballed MiG-29 airframes so these are all like hardware the military hardware that we are going to buy from Russia which joint project being India and Russia was highlighted by Putin as an example of their defense collaboration Agni Tejas BrahMos or S-400 system so you can take the correct answer and put it in the comment box the Rugala ceremony was celebrated on the second day of the 48th 100 drums Vangala festival so prelims oriented kireba khudi dibo pare the Vangala festival to quote hoy Vangala festival at Garo heritage village in Meghalaya Vangala festival kuntu tribe celebrate kore boli kole Garo tribe in Meghalaya It is a post-harvest Thanksgiving celebration for the Garos of Meghalaya. Post-harvest Thanksgiving celebration at the Rugala, a ritual Thanksgiving by the Nokma village chief, involves offering cooked rice, vegetables, and rice beer to the Misi Saljong, the great giver. Mahasagar stands for Maritime Heads of Active Security and Growth for All in the region. Maritime Heads for Active Security and Growth for All in the regions, an initiative by the Indian Navy for high-level virtual interaction. So, high-level virtual interaction by the Indian Navy in the region. So, most of these countries are involved like Bangladesh, along with India, Bangladesh, Comoros, Kenya, Madagascar, Maldives, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and Tanzania. These Indian Ocean rim countries or Zumla members, তেওঁলোক ইয়াতে involved হৈ আছে in the Mahasagar. So one-on-one interview guidance program by Anil Swarup sir is coming up for you. So he will be there on 15, 16, 17 and 18. So all of you are requested to register yourself for one-to-one interview guidance program with Anil Swarup sir. And Brahmastra batch also it's going on. So you can join our Brahmastra batch which is a foundation batch for prelims, mains and interview. So thank you and that's it for today for the current affairs news and analysis and see you in the next video.